Right then, so obviously going into a few weeks' time at UFC 306, Sean O'Malley will be headlining the card against Merab Develashvili, of course, UFC in the Sphere, and the card is ridiculously underwhelming, as we know. And I also massively believe that Sean O'Malley can't sell it all out on his own. And it's clear to see from the ticket sales that UFC 306 has been doing at the Sphere, it's not good. And the undercard that Sean O'Malley's headlining, the undercard is an absolute stinker, if we're being completely honest. And it's clear to see as well, Sean O'Malley's not like the next Conor McGregor that the UFC very clearly thinks O'Malley might be. He's not, because as we know, when McGregor fights in non-championship bouts, especially, the undercards never too amazingly strong. But I mean, we're seeing the same thing here with going to UFC 306. The card's not strong and they can't sell tickets. The UFC need to lower their ticket prices going into the event. And with the amount of money they've spent on it, it's not a good look for the UFC at all. And it's also not the most amazing look for Sean O'Malley, who the UFC have put their trust into headline this massive historic card, as they're calling it. And, well, event, should we say, because the card's not historic at all. But, yeah, overall, it's not a great look for Sean O'Malley. And let's be real, though, I'm not going to lie. O'Malley is in my opinion, one of the most entertaining fighters in the UFC to watch right now. Without a shadow of a doubt, he is. But he can't sell pay-per-views like the UFC think he can do. The guy, like, let's be real, Sean O'Malley's a cool guy in my opinion, but he's comes across quite shy in the press conferences, doesn't have a load to say. He's quite quiet in them with his lines. The odd line that he speaks can be a little bit cringy as well in the press conferences. Sean O'Malley never has any massive standout moments in there. And to be a big star in the UFC, that's what you need. But O'Malley just doesn't have that, in my opinion. And it's clear to see. And if we also look at, the last two events that O'Malley has headlined. So UFC 292 was obviously headlined by Aljo and Sean O'Malley. And there wasn't the most amazing hype for the card anyway, to be fair. O'Malley just didn't really bring massive hype into it, in my opinion. I mean, there was the odd back and forth with him and Aljo at the press conference, but it was nothing all too special. And that the promotion for the whole card wasn't exactly great. There wasn't a load of talking points, and the card wasn't too strong either. We had Vera on the undercard against Pedro Munoz, but at the end of the day, that was on there. But and then we had Ian Gary, Neil Magny. I guess Ian Gary brings in a few eyes, but O'Malley was headlining this. He was meant to be the whole star, but the hype just wasn't really too there for it, if we're being real. It wasn't at all. Then we, of course, go and we look at UFC 299, where we, of course, had on the card, has this blade thing just crashed on me? Please don't say as. But yeah, on the card we have Dustin Poirier versus Benoit Saint-Denis on the undercard. We had Kevin Holland versus MVP, Piotr Jan versus Sung Byong, Jack Della Maddalena, Gilbert Burns. Overall, it's a strong card, but it just, in my opinion, to me, even though I do find O'Malley entertaining, I just don't look at him and think, oh, he's an absolutely huge star and I'm really hyped up for the event. Even though, the fights on the undercard were good, it just didn't seem 100% right having O'Malley and Vera headlining the card. It just didn't seem right. It's probably because I don't think Vera was, in a great position for the title shot anyway. But obviously, he was the only one to beat O'Malley due to the perennial nerve kick, though, which people would say was pretty fluky. But yeah, it just didn't, O'Malley's the main event for that, just didn't bring that same hype. And once again, for the promotion, the press conferences, it just wasn't really it from Sean O'Malley. There was no, obviously O'Malley and Cheeto didn't really like each other, but there still wasn't, any massive, really hype up, exciting moments to have throughout the promotion of the fight, at the press conferences, or anything like that. As I said, O'Malley's fighting style alone makes him a really entertaining fighter. And I always do enjoy a Sean O'Malley fight, 100% I do. But he's not the star that the UFC think he is and make him out to be. He's not. In my opinion, he doesn't have the character for it. He does not have the persona. He doesn't have the character for it. He's not all too entertaining overall outside of the octagon. I mean, he does have his things on social media and stuff, which, bring his fans closer to him. But at the end of the day, he doesn't promote a fight all too well, and that struggles to make people think he's an absolutely huge star. And he's not the next big Conor McGregor or anything like that. He just doesn't have those lines on the mic. He just doesn't have the personality. And to be the big star in the UFC, you need to have that personality. And O'Malley, he's entertaining, but doesn't have the personality to really get you massively excited and hyped up for an event. And as I said, I obviously spoke on the Aljo and the Vera fights he headlined with, of course, and going to the Sphere. Obviously, it's not his fault. It's not just his fault, of course, but it's not exactly an amazing look for him that he's headlining this event. People think he's this huge star and they can't sell tickets well at all for it. They had to lower prices, and there's still about 3,000 tickets in the Sphere. I mean, it's mostly on the UFC, to be fair. It's on Dana White. It's on Dana White. It's on Hunter. It's not just O'Malley, of course, but he does play a part in it because, the promotion's not there. But again, no, it's not just it isn't just O'Malley. There's better things that the UFC could do with promoting O'Malley. Like, yes, the UFC could probably promote O'Malley better and, try and build him into a bigger star themselves. The UFC aren't doing their whole fair share with it, in my opinion. The UFC need to do more. But again, O'Malley's not helping himself a load too much. But he is coming out of his shell a bit more, to be fair, as we do see him, which is good. And that's what we need to see. But as of now, from what we've seen, he's not the star that people think he is. And that, the much younger audience who watch the UFC, really like the 12, 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds are really into seeing. That's the thing. But yeah, he's not the star that they think he is. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I'm getting the rest of the video here. Thanks for watching this video, Key. I'll speak to you in a bit.